Hello and welcome to Glasgow by Night, our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle following the Night Elements coterie, a group of 6 kindred trying to find out why 2 of their coterie mates met the final death while navigating the fluctuating kindred politics of the city of Glasgow. What you're about to hear is a Minisode, an intimate time with one of our characters, and in this case, the Gangrel shield maiden, Ghurka's daughter. This is one of our earliest tentative recordings, which we were just doing for our own memories, so you will occasionally hear a strange pulsing over my voice. It does pass, so bear with it, and we promise the audio quality improves as we get further into the chronicle. A wee warning to everybody: Vampire the Masquerade is a game of personal horror, and this chronicle is for mature audiences only. In this episode we visit a historical event where terrible things happened. If you feel such things may affect you in any way, we advise either giving this one a miss, or be good to yourself and take a break now and again. As usual, there's nothing too gratuitous, but the events described may prove uncomfortable for some. With that said, let us begin our vampire story as we join Ghurka's daughter, in a time nearly gone from lived human experience, on the blood-soaked soil of occupied France.
The French have settled down to an obstinate fight to hamper the occupying forces.
The larger and more splendid its city, the more it is at the mercy of those who may make it their prey.
The nightlife in Glasgow is perfectly safe. They do not exist.
I urge you, at this moment of national emergency.
Life should not be carrying on as normal right now.
I don't think there's any way to back out of it now. Elysium is incredibly prestigious. Having a bit of a fight with myself, the exit is right there.
You don't want to be in between me and that.
I gave Happy a promise, and for all my sins, I do try and keep those.
We have a number of provocations to respond to. Is there anybody who's innocent among the kindred?
Did have a vision that we all died if this was ahead, remember?
You have to be careful.
I know.
It is the evening of the 9th of June 1944, and we are in the small village of Saint Leonard de Noblat, where a small company of Maquis, led by Aud, also known as Helfra, have captured a local SS commander by the name of Helmut Kumpf. Dragged from his vehicle and carted through the village, he has now been tied to a post in the village centre, commonly used to hold livestock or horses. The locals have taken to have been baiting and insulting the man as he's been dragged into the village centre, and he has now been covered in petroleum, poured all over him. But he is utterly defiant. He barely flinches, even though he's taking quite a severe beating. But he is utterly defiant. And as Oud stands before him and ignites the classic 1940s Art Deco lighter, and the flame switches on, she says,
There are no Nazis in Valhalla.
and she throws the lighter, and Helmut Kampf is immolated. It takes a lot of time, but he dies burning and screaming to the cheers of those inhabitants of Saint Leonard de Roblat. The following evening, in Oradour-sur-Glane, Oud is in the basement of the church where she has made her haven, or the place to sleep, and as she arises from her day sleep in the unused stone mausoleum that she has used, she has found to be a very comfortable home. She can smell drifting between the stones the smell of, she's smelled this before from the pyres of her ancestors, the smell of burning human flesh. And unbeknownst to her, the stone slab on top of the sarcophagus, which she usually places there herself, is unceremoniously pushed off. And amongst the smoke and the low light, she witnesses the barrels of a number of machine guns come over the top of the mausoleum and open fire on her. She gets shot in the chest, in the knees, in the arms, and the legs. The rounds go everywhere. They decimate her body. And at the very end of...
Yep, go for it.
At the feet of her sarcophagus, she sees the image of this man.
Yeah.
This is the hated Adolf Diekmann, commander of the 2nd Panzer Division Das Reich, and responsible for a lot.
I must admit, that is quite. Is that the man that we? Is that the man that we burned, or is that a different man?
No, this is not. This is a different man. And yeah, he stands over the top of you, and he holds in his hand what looks like an incendiary grenade. He pulls the pin, looks down at you, and says, "For Helmut Kampf." And he goes to throw the incendiary grenade into your sarcophagus, but just as he is about to do so, there's a hail of machine gun fire comes from across the way, and him and his soldiers go down. As you lay there, you wait a couple of seconds, and then you hear the grenade go off. You hear the flames, and the smoke, and the smell of the phosphorus in the air, but you're untouched inside your sarcophagus. However, you can barely move a muscle. Your body has been racked and shattered with machine gun fire. There's an exchange of gunfire, and then all is quiet. And then peeking over the top of your sarcophagus is this woman, who you recognise as Marguerite Roufange. She's a 47-year-old of the village, very quiet lady, but she was a stalwart of the Maquis. And it looks like she has just saved your life. You can see that she has been shot a number of times. You can see there's a shot to her shoulder, and there is blood. But she holds her hand over the sarcophagus and goes, "Come, Brujah, we must go."
I will.
No, maybe don't go.
No, I will. Can I pull myself up, basically, or am I actually unable to move?
It is extremely hard. I want you to roll willpower. Just roll me your willpower.
What dice do you need for willpower?
That's just one. It's just one. No, my willpower.
No, it's all your willpower. All your unspent willpower.
Right, let me check.
How many dice do you need?
A couple more, please, love.
And bearing in mind you cannot spend willpower to re-roll anything.
Sim will be very annoyed if you die.
Okay. That is 3 successes, one of them a 10.
3 successes. Awesome. Okay, you managed to find it in you. You find that warrior spirit that you've had for years and years. And Marguerite, with a lot of help from Marguerite, she pulls you over the top of the sarcophagus and onto the ground. And the smell of burning flesh is so thick in the air. You know you're in the basement of the church, so if you're wanting to escape this place, you know you're going to have to go up. And that seems to be the source of it all. Marguerite says, "We do not have much time. We must go. They have killed."
I will.
Cool.
I will literally just like even if I need to literally crawl, I will pull myself along my fingernails.
Crawling is pretty much all you're good for right now, and she helps you. She doesn't have much strength. She's obviously wounded, but whatever strength she gives you, you manage to crawl your way up the stairs. As she helps you, she says that they have killed all the men, and they have killed all the women and all the children. Prepare your eyes.
I'll just shut my eyes and nod.
So you crawl your way up the stairs, open into the church, which was a beautiful place. You saw it every single day. But now it is a black and charred mess of a place. A lot of the roof has caved in, and amongst all the blackened timbers, you can see an almost unbelievable number of charred bodies, both big, small. It's horrific. And you know you've been working alongside these people, and now they're gone. Every single one. She basically tries to cover up your face and says, don't look. This way. And she points you to the back of the church, basically, where the priest would put on his robes, etc. And she points to a window which is like 6 feet in the air.
That's going to be a hell of a day.
It's the only way.
Yeah, I will. What I'm going to do first is basically kneel down and give her a step with my hands. Just go, you first. You can help me up. You can help me up.
No. You first. I can make this. She puts her back against the wall and puts her hands on top of her knee, very expertly, almost soldierly.
I'm strangely unsurprised.
And then
she has one of those faces.
She points to her. She does, and she points to her left-hand side and points to a box. I will manage with this.
Yep, very, very, probably extremely slowly and painfully lever myself up and put as little weight on her as possible in the meantime. I'd make an effort to avoid her wounds as much as I can.
Give me your resolve and athletics.
That is that's good. That is 3 successes. Two of them crits.
Happy days. 2 of them crits. Boom. Okay.
No, sorry,
right,
actually, sorry, that's 4 successes. 2 of them crits.
2 of them crits. Okay. You seem to find the strength from somewhere. Perhaps that memory of the fights that you had as a child, the steel that your family instilled in you, and from the looks and feelings of your family members around you, it gives you a sense of hope and strength, and you clamber your way up the roof, up through the window. You clamber over. There's no once you're through this window, there's no foothold or anything at the bottom. All you've got is like a 20-foot drop, and
that's fine.
there is nothing for it. You just have to throw yourself over. If you give me your...
I'm not gonna drop down before she comes up though. Like I'm literally hanging over the thing and hanging an arm down so that she's got that to help.
There is no room. There is no room. It's you have to go. All right. I will do my best to get my feet under me and get in a decent position so that at least my knees will take some of the shock when I drop. Okay, you managed to get one leg through. You managed to kind of droopy down by the windowsill and try to alleviate as much as the shock of the drop as you can.
Basically, just do whatever I can so I don't land on my head. Whatever I can do to avoid that.
That's going to give us your dex and athletics.
Good.
They don't sound like skills you have high points in.
No, I do.
Okay.
I'm high on dex. No, I'm gonna need some more, please, love. I'm gonna need one more, please.
I have a couple just in case they're else.
Thank you.
I like to get killed by that thing.
I'll do my best. That is 1, 2. That's 3 successes. 1 of them a crit.
3 successes. Okay. You managed to take the impact, but the fall, you end up in a roll, and it's just hitting all those wounds. The pain is unimaginable, and you know you are so close to torpor that every little twinge of pain is making you realise how weak you are.
I will swear vociferously in ancient Norse, which no one's gonna get. Which no one but me, probably me and a number of Icelandic scholars know. In
the distance, you hear some German voices.
I'll stop swearing.
Not
the words I'm using.
You hear that the crate getting moved, and you hear Marguerite scrabbling up the window, and you see her essentially mimicking your actions.
I'll roll to the side as much as possible to give her a clear landing. I don't want to be hit by a falling French person. It's gonna. I'm already hurt.
Falling human sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, she scoots. She allows you time to scoot off, and she droops down, and then she drops. And yeah.
Oh shit.
She lets out a moan of pain that she can't quell. Do you cover her mouth or?
Probably move over.
No.
I can't move that much faster than a normal human, but enough to just kind of go enough to at least stifle it a bit.
Okay. The Germans sound like they're getting a bit more tense, like they're getting shit together. From inside the church, you start to hear a baby crying.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
And a woman, and you hear footsteps like standing up on the box, and you see a woman's hands come over the windowsill, and she scrabbles up, and she's clearly got a babe in her arms.
And I will do my best to pull myself up and literally
and
hold arms out.
There's a need for that until there's a burst of machine gun fire.
Cock.
And then you don't need to hold your arms up anymore. Marguerite tugs on your dress and says, "We have to go."
Into the field, go. Crawl, crawl.
I will do, but I'm crawling, and under my breath, I'm swearing. I may be making a number of particularly ill-advised but sincere oaths to a number of different gods about the particular deaths I'm going to visit on the people who are responsible for this.
And I think you are quite right to do so.
Currently, probably halfway through one about hanging you with your own intestine.
It's always a lovely
I
image.
think that's warranted. Could you give me your dexterity and stealth, please, Oud?
Yes. Do I get? I'm presuming that ambush is not relevant here.
No.
Didn't think so. I did not think so.
You are
well?
crawling for your life.
Yes.
Are we going to have to go back in time and rescue out?
It'll be
Might be
fine.
how happy matter.
At the moment, Happy is almost. I have no idea what Happy's doing at the moment. Actually, Happy.
Not wildly different from what he's doing now.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 successes. One of them a crit.
Well, okay, you are super silent.
I'm quite
and
well designed
Marguerite,
for survival.
Marguerite is super silent as well, and you crawl your way past the barn into what looks like a pea field. You can see pea plants around you, and Marguerite is behind you. You know that the crawl through this field is going to take. It's going to take a long time. It's a large field. You have cover, but it's going to take a while. Give me the same again, please. Give me your stealth and dexterity. In fact, no, cancel that. I think you've been stealthy enough. I need your resolve and...
It's like, ah, crap, I'm good at stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Resolve and...
Your resolve and stamina.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yes, not bad at that either, actually. That is 4. 4 successes. One of them a crit.
You're doing well.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, you're smashing it.
That's just playing to my strengths.
Yeah.
You can hear Marguerite behind you going, "Keep going, girl. Move your beautiful ass." As you're pushing through this pea field,
I will totally snigger quietly.
Impressive accent.
Move your sexy backside.
Thank you.
I can't.
So you make it about halfway. You make it about halfway through this field, and you can hear Marguerite's breathing getting more laboured. She starts to cough, like she's coughing up something.
Yeah, I'm totally coming, stopping back and go.
Are you over?
How much
Okay,
do they know about me?
They don't know about what you are.
Right.
Or maybe a select few do, but most of the villagers just know. I mean, most of the Maquis operate at night. At the end of the day.
Yeah, they'll just think I'm a random British.
There are 1 or 2 people that you were close to, but you can pretty much guarantee that they are.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They just thought you slept in graveyards for fun.
It's a pretty reasonable thing for if presumably they think I'm part of the OSS, so that's totally the sort of thing that someone from the OSS would do. That if she is, I'm going to turn around and at least I'm going to flip round as easily as I can without making as little disturbance, but we sort of sit and flip back so I can look at her and see how bad she is.
Okay, so when you turn around to her, she's clearly, you can see steam coming off her. She's that hot. She is clearly coughing up her blood into the soil of France. And she looks up to you and goes, "Go. You must survive. Go."
Okay, I'm going to look. What do I know about her? I know she's very quiet. Do I know, is she devoutly religious? Is she?
Yeah, absolutely. No, she was a local, she came to the church. She would help out with the priest, etc., with the services. very devout. I think she may have had a husband at some stage, but is now a bit of a spinster. But was very behind the whole Marquis movement.
Yeah. Do I get the impression that everything to do with this is so important to her that she would be willing to overlook things that could be a bit monstrous from a religious level, or do I get the impression that religion is more important to her than...
I think vampires have a sense of true faith. They can feel it.
Yeah.
And it's not as powerful as you would get from like the local priest who has stayed through all these troubles.
Yeah.
But from this, there's a definite sense of it. Come on, move. We don't have all night. Go.
What I'm probably going to do in that case is literally turn around, grab her hand, and start towing her while pulling myself on.
Okay. She bats your hand away and gives you a look like like Oldfield. She gives you a look, the same look that your mother gave you, the same look your grandmother gave you in training. At those points where you thought you were being weak, that look of steel, to say, this is what must be done.
That being the case, I will sigh and give her a very small...
Touch me.
No. Stop. Sigh and give her a very, very tiny salute. Just tiny movement of the hand right there. And turn around and start crawling.
And she does the same and says, "Come see me again. Whether it be the grave or my house."
You have my word.
What?
Whichever one. You have my word.
And with that, she lays her arm down the ground and she puts her head down and she just starts to breathe.
I'll start crawling on.
And that's where we leave out. At the end of the 10th of June, the 2nd Panzer Division will have killed 642 innocents in revenge for Al McComph being immolated. And that's where we'll leave our scene.
I will entirely say that I know I eventually left Europe in something of a hurry, but there will be some point after that where any surviving members of that particular platoon will have quite possibly sometime after events, will have been the subject of some very mysterious but quite bloody deaths at some point. Possibly in the late, if any of them survived that long, possibly in the late 40s or early 50s.
Yeah.
Well, Adolf Diekman's platoon will go on to fight continuously in the Battle of Normandy for a further 20 odd days, where it is reported that him and his platoon were killed on the 29th of June. You get the impression you may well be hearing from this man again.
Oh, yes. Well, that one's good. Well, Ed will certainly know that. She will certainly have followed up on the history of that one. And she'll have kept her eyes open. So maybe this whole thing is less of a surprise than it might be.
And I would imagine she kept her promise to Marguerite.
Oh, yes.
Because Marguerite Ruffonge is the only female survivor of the massacre at Oradour-sur-Glaive. And I think Aud and her had a lovely chat one day.
Oh, very definitely.
About that evening in the church and that parting moment in the pea field.
Very definitely.
That lady sounds awesome.
Yeah, scary stuff.
Did the baby make it out the window?
No,
No.
the baby did not make it out the window. That's why I was not escaping with the baby.
That was so Marguerite Roufange, and she was one of the people to escape out the window, along with a mother and child, and Marguerite was the only one that made it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not fun.
I'm-
Not a good bunch of people. These Nazi characters.
Yes, funny though.
It's a controversial statement you've got there, Sim.
I know.
There's
I'm really on the fence here.
Yeah.
As I said, Out has views.
Yeah, I think there's a fair things that are brought up to Mossad that are really going to be out.
It's not impossible, to be honest.
Like, if Aud was a sniper, would totally have pegged her as the Finnish. Is it the Finnish sniper? There was the white
Oh,
death.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aud is a bit more up close and personal by nature.
Yeah.
I'd like to
I
go
want
for
you
the
to
throat.
know who's actually killing you.
Oh, Aud is not bothered if you know or not. Aud is just much
She
more
likes
of a...
the feel.
No, Aud would be like.
And
Aud and her wolf would be like a pack of wolves, like circling the Nazis while they were trying to go through Finland and just like picking them off one by one.
Let's
Okay.
just say
Alright.
that Aud made some trips into the Black Forest where certain Nazi units found themselves dwindling rapidly by the day.
It's like, where's Hans? Oh, he's over there. His entrails are hanging out. Ah, bugger.
Oh, and I love the there's no place for your type in Valhalla.
Oh yes.
Beautiful. Excellent.
No Nazis in Valhalla,
Very cool.
bitch.
Oh yes.
Well done, darling.
Awesome.